Hi, I'm Jillian and welcome to the show. I offer spiritual growth for the rebel soul, guiding you through the labyrinth of your own ascension path. This show is for the rebel souls that challenge the status quo, those that crave authenticity in every single aspect of their lives, that desire to embrace their uniqueness, follow their passions, connect to their soul, and live according to who they truly are, even if that means having the courage to go against the grain or the norms of society. If that's you, my spiritual soul seeker, rebel warrior, then this is the place for you. On this podcast, we speak about everything from spirituality, sexuality, conscious relationships, business, and literally everything in between. So if that's your jam, then stay tuned. And go on, be a rebel and subscribe. You know you want to. Today I want to share something that came up in a client session recently because it was so profound, and honestly it's just such a good example of how soul work and purpose work really just unfold when we honestly just stop thinking in boxes and start tuning into what we already know deep down. So this was a brand new client, okay? And he was coming into my 3-month one-on-one spiritual coaching journey extravaganza. And this was actually our very first session together. And we'd never worked together. A lot of my clients that come into my coaching program have done one-on-one sessions with me. But this guy in particular, we had done our connection call and he was just like, look, I just know I meant to work with you. I don't know why, but let's do it. And I just love that because that is soul recognition. That is the fuck yes, I need your magic. And I've had that so many times with other people and other mentors, and it's just so magical. Chef's kiss when that happens. And basically right off the bat, he was clear about what he wanted. And he was like, I know I meant to help people. I know I've been through what I've been through for a reason. I just want to understand my true purpose and I want to embody it. I want to live it. And I want to stop letting these issues or challenges or blocks stop me from doing what I inherently feel I'm meant to do, right? So we dropped in, we opened the space and right away, boom, past lives started showing up. Not just one, but multiple lifetimes. Some on Earth, some on other planets, some on different timelines altogether. And you know what was wild? In every one of them, he was already doing what he came here to do. He was being the version of himself that he's meant to remember now. So in one life, he was healing people with energy, clearly tapped in, working with frequencies, just so completely embodied in his gift. In another, he was a protector, a guide, a father, someone that was holding space for sacred work to happen. In another, he was surrounded by a loving, supportive community, friends, family, soul tribe who saw him and just celebrated him. And none of these were random. It wasn't just cool visions. It was his soul showing him that these things aren't things that you have to create from scratch, right? These are gifts and archetypes that you've already mastered. And now it's time to just remember and embody them again. But here, in this life, in this timeline, and this is what I always say. This is something I talk about a lot with clients, right? Your purpose isn't about what you do. It's how you be. Right? So let me just say that again. Your purpose isn't just what you do, it's how you be. It's not just oh, I meant to start a business or teach or coach or write. It's the energies that you naturally carry, right? The medicine that you bring into a space, without even trying. And some people have the gift of holding space. Some people bring deep clarity and answers to people. Some people can shift other people in just a few words. Some people have this deep presence, they carry joy, and some can hold grief that is shared by others and heals others in ways that other people can't, right? And this is what my client was accessing. It wasn't just, let's say, past roles, but the soul traits and the gifts that are just already part of him. They're still part of him. So instead of just exploring the lifetimes, we brought those archetypes forward and we actually integrated them back into his energy field. We pulled them back online, so his healer self activated, his protector self fully embodied in his whole being, the wisdom keeper self completely reawakened, his beloved self just connected to love, community, joy, like just present, right? And you could feel the difference in his field, right? The session ended with this solid, grounded, clear energy. Like the fragments clicked into place. Like it was just a beautiful soul remembrance. And let's just zoom out here for a second, right? Okay, because what you access in past life regression in a past life session isn't just memory, right? It's truly is medicine. And this is why it's like I just love this this tool, right? Because we're able to access your unconscious memory and go to all these different timelines that you have access to, right? And you just sometimes need to be held in that space to be able to do it. And the lifetimes that you connect with, they are just sacred mirrors. They reflect the gifts that you've held before, that you're ready to reactivate now, and the roles or the energies that show up in them. They're like what I call archetypes. They are soul codes. They're not just random characters you played once. They're deep parts of your essence, because remember, you are a soul and you're having these different human or maybe not human, you're having these different experiences on this planet and others. And, it's almost like these archetypes that you have been and they're still part of you. They're still part of your soul makeup, right? The healer, the mystic, the guide, the warrior, the beloved, the teacher, the rebel, of course, the priestess, the king, the bridge, you name it. We've had people speak of archetypes throughout history, throughout time, and these are you. These are energies that you've carried across timelines. And really, when you remember them, when you feel them integrate into your field, when you call them back online, when you remember who the fuck you are, that's when you stop just talking about purpose. And that's when you really start embodying it. Because again, your purpose isn't something that you need to chase. It's already who you are. But most of us have forgotten that. And it's just about remembering. So let's just talk about, just for a minute, what this kind of session really is. Again, a lot of people think of past life work is just like, oh, cool, I used to be a priestess in Egypt, or I was a knight, or I, died in a fire. And yes, those things can come through for sure. But the point isn't just to collect past life facts, right? The point is to reclaim the soul gifts, to clear and heal any blocks, anything that you've carried through the generational lines, the lessons, the pain, the suffering, etc., that are holding you back from living your true purpose now, that are relevant to you in this lifetime. Because all of those lifetimes, they're not behind you, they are inside of you. And they're part of your energy field, they're part of your DNA, they're part of your intuition. They create the blocks, the beliefs, the inherent fears and trauma, the gifts, the talents, all of them can be a part of what you've experienced in your past lives. Because, when a past life shows up, it's because that version of you is ready either to come back online, if it's, in a good context, or you're ready to heal the things that you never quite resolved in those lifetimes, right? So it's really twofold. And then when we integrate it, when we heal, when we integrate, not just observe it, right? When we actually do the energetic work and understand what it is, the lessons, the traits, the things that we need to embody, the archetypes, right? It becomes part of your own current embodiment in this life, right? You move differently, you speak differently, you make decisions from a clear place. You stop second guessing and you just start being, right? And if you're wondering, is this kind of work for you? Here's who it helps the most, in my opinion, right? Healers, of course, intuitives, empaths, the ones that know they've done this work before. People in a season of transition, right? Looking for clarity or looking for their next steps. Spiritual seekers, those on their healing journey who've done the shadow work, they've done the talk therapy, they've done their inner child work, but they feel like something is still missing, right? You know, their patterns still come up, the triggers still come up, the fears, the relationships, you know, the behaviors. They know there's something deeper, right? The people that have always felt a bit out of place, like they can remember something bigger, but can't fully explain it, you know? Like if you've ever said, I just know I'm here to help people somehow. Or if you've just said, you know, I felt like this since I was a kid. Or I don't feel like I really belong here. Or I've had dreams or memories that don't feel like mine. Well, then this work is absolutely for you, you know? So I just want to give you a few questions to just sit with, right? Just to marinate on, you know, so you can go away with a couple of takeaways from this episode, right? Just have a think. What gifts or qualities do you know in your heart that you've carried for a long time? You know, even if you haven't fully claimed them yet, what's the first thing that just came to your mind right there? And you can journal this because, again, journaling, when you set the intention, you can really bring out the lessons, the lifetimes, the traits, the gifts, the purpose, and just allow your pen to write. Because, again, the intention is so strong, it's just going to create an unconscious stream that you can journal. And the other thing I want you to kind of sit with is, what past versions of you feel like they are just waiting to come alive again? Like, what is that version of you that you feel like you're on the precipice of? You know, are you going through like this identity shift where, you know, you're stepping out of your old identity, your old view on things, your old friendships, your old, you know, job, like things just aren't feeling alive anymore, right? You're craving this deeper sense of meaning, and you know that you're meant to do something else, right? You know you're being drawn to something, maybe you just don't know what it is yet, right? And the next thing I want you to just really ponder on is, what if your next step isn't about learning something new, right? But just think about this. What if it's actually about remembering something ancient? And what if what you've been trying to find in your purpose, and really like your purpose has been living inside you like the whole time? You know, I get that question so often, you know, what's my purpose? What's my purpose? What am I meant to do? And I'm like, you're meant to be. And that's like, unshed the masks and the illusions that you've created through lifetimes, this lifetime, you know, to pass down your ancestral line through past lifetimes. You're meant to heal and become more of who you are at that soul level, right? And this is the work that we do. This is the path to walk your own soul's path, to uncover your own soul's mission and your true potential, to create a life that is meaningful and fulfilling to you, to the beat of your own drum, you know, because your path is unwalked. Your path is not the same as anyone else's. And your unique gifts, abilities, qualities, you know, the things that light you up, your passions, that is your purpose. That's what you're meant to do. And it's your energy that's going to manifest and create that. They'll bring the right people to you, bring the right opportunities to you. But first, you know, we also almost like we have to just shed the layers and remember who the fuck we are. So, you know, if you're ready to explore your own soul gifts, if you are looking to reconnect with maybe your past life archetypes and actually embody your purpose, not just talk about it, right? Like, this is a tiny part of the work I do inside the path, which is my private spiritual coaching. You know, this client session was literally the first of our 3 months together. And already his field has shifted. Already he's had huge aha moments. Already he had confirmation of the dreams that he's had since 9 years old through this experience. So just imagine what can happen over 3 months when you're constantly held, when you're guided, and when you're activated. You know, we do deep past life healing, we do energy work, we do spiritual mentorship, we do psychic development, we do purpose alignment. Like, we go into everything that is your own personal path and journey. And it's fucking powerful. It's so transformational. Like, I still get wowed every session. Everybody is so unique and so different. And it's like, I can see the potential of what people are here to be and be of service to themselves and the world. Like, I can see how amazing they are. I can see how amazing you are. Like, that is my gift. That is one of my soul gifts that I have been brought here to help awaken in other people, is to see the potential in everybody around me and help to activate and embody the skills and the talents that they're meant to, so that they can live the most fulfilling life possible, you know, so that they can do their soul work. You know, there's a reason that I was in the career consulting industry for so long. There's a reason that I had my own digital recruitment business, right? Because I could see the potential in people. I was helping people with their skills. I was helping people to, you know, to find their calling, right? I've been doing this inadvertently for a very long time. Now we're just going like that extra step deeper, and it's not just about your career. Whilst, yes, that a lot of my clients is a huge career change for them when they step into their soul work, but it's complete transformation on a soul level, on every level, right? So if you're ready for that, this is your invitation. You know, you can DM me on Instagram at the Gillian Kane Connection, or you can head to the link in the show notes and, you know, apply, check out the information. You know, if you love listening to this, if this landed for you, if you're like, I need more of this, if you know someone else needs to hear this, share it with them. You know, tag me on IG, leave a review, like whatever you want to do, you do that, right? You know, obviously it's going to help me reach more people, more beautiful souls like you, because that's my purpose. That's what I'm here to do. You know, remember, like, a final takeaway from this episode is that you do not have to be anyone new. Like, there's nothing new that you need to learn, because you're just here to remember who you are. And that's what I'm here to help you with. So I will see you next time, my loves, and have a great one. Take care.